चलो let's start with the next, that is Companies Act miscellaneous provisions. Non-permissible services by auditor, section 144 क्या है? An auditor of the company shall provide services only approved by board or audit committees but shall not provide certain services mentioned below: accounting and bookkeeping services, internal audit, design and implementation of any financial information systems, actuarial services and management services, investment advisory services or investment banking services, outsource financial services. Note: in case of individual director, either himself or through his relative or any other person connected, or through any other entity in which such individual has significant influence or control, or whose name or trademark or trend is used by such individual, shall be termed as a rendering of service directly or indirectly by the auditor. In case firm auditor, either himself or through any of its partners or through its parent, subsidiary, or associate entity, or through any other entity in which the firm or any partner of the firm has significant influence or control, or whose name or trademark or brand is used by the other firm or any of its partners, shall be termed as rendering of services directly or indirectly by the auditor. Application to tribunal for relief in case of operation, section 241 and 244. Any member of a company may apply to the tribunal if complaints that an affairs of the company is conducted affecting prejudicial public interest, member himself, and interest of the company, there is a material change in management or control which may lead to affecting its interest or its members or class of the members. Note: eligibility criteria for applying as above under section 241. That is section 244 में eligibility criteria है in case of companies having share capital. अगर शेयर कैपिटल का लोएस्ट ऑफ द फॉलोइंग 100 मेंबर्स और 1/10 ऑफ द टोटल मेंबर्स, 100 मेंबर्स या फिर 1/10 ऑफ द टोटल मेंबर्स अगर नहीं है holding 1/10 of the total issued share capital, provided applicant has paid all the costs, and in case the company not having share capital nahi hai, तो 1/5 of the total members. However, withdrawal of consent later on by the members won't affect the maintainability of the application. Cognizance of offense in the Companies Act. Cognizance of offense in Companies Act. Court shall take cognizance of offense under the Companies Act alleged to be committed by company or officer thereof only on written complaint made by registrar, shareholder, member, person authorized by central government. In case offense related to issue or transfer of securities or non-payment of dividend, court may take cognizance on complaint made by person authorized by the SEBI. Distribution in case of liquidation. अगर distribution करना है as per Companies Act and ABC laws, तो distribution कैसे करना है? Amount realized on the sale or liquidation of asset less fees payable to resolution professional or liquidator, expenses incurred by resolution professional to run business, balance available less secured creditors who relinquish securities and workmen used for 24 months preceding the liquidation, rank equally distributed proportional, balance available less wages and dues to employees other than workmen for 12 months preceding liquidation at commencement date, balance available less unsecured financial creditors, balance available dues payable less dues payable to government or due to secured creditor for unpaid amount to enforce the security interest. No, balance available and then less any remaining debts and duties and due to the preference shareholders, balance available for equity shareholders. आ जाता है फिर investigation into the affairs of the company, section 210. If central government opinions that investigation is necessary into the affairs of the company, it may not bound order an investigation based on the following and on receipt of report of registrar or inspector under section 208 on intimation of a special resolution passed by the company for investigation of the affairs suo motu in public interest, where order is passed by court or tribunal in any proceedings for investigation of affairs of company, central government shall order an investigation security before appointing inspector for investigation. Central government, before appointing inspector for investigation, may require applicant to provide security not exceeding rupees 25,000 for payment of cost and expenses of investigation based on the turnover. up to 50 crore 10,000 की fee है, more than 50 crore up to 200 crore 15,000 की fee, more than 225,000 की fees लग जाती है. Now we will move to the chapter compromise arrangement and amalgamations. Compromise arrangements and amalgamations. Power to compromise or make arrangement with creditors or members, section 230. Where a compromise or an arrangement is proposed between company and its creditors or members, tribunal may, on application of company, member, creditor, or liquidator, order a meeting of creditors or the members. However, if 90% of the creditors agree by affidavit to the scheme, tribunal may not call the meeting. Person making application shall disclose the following information. कौन-कौन सी information है? So all material facts related to the company, that is financial position, pendency of investigation, etc. Reduction of share capital, reduction in share capital, if any scheme of corporate debt restructuring consented by 75% or more of the creditors in value. तो उनको कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना है कौन कौन पर्सन हो सकते हैं, तो वो होते हैं. फिर नोटिस ऑफ सच मीटिंग कैन बी गिवन टू ऑल द क्रेडिटर्स, मेंबर्स, डिबेंचर होल्डर्स. ऑल्सो Affected sectorial regulators along with the following details of compromise or arrangement, copy of valuation reports, effect on creditors, KMPs, promoters and non-promoters, members and debenture holders. Effect of material interest of directors, debenture interest. Sectorial regulator shall make a representation if any within 30 days from the receipt of the notice. Any objections made to proposed compromise or arrangement only by person holding 10% or more of the shareholding or person having 5% or 10% or more of shareholding or person having 5% or more of outstanding debt. Scheme of compromise or arrangement shall be binding on company, all creditors, members, liquidators, and contributors if agreed by. It shall be binding if it is agreed by majority of persons voting in meeting in person or by proxy or postal ballot, and three-fourths in value of creditors or members, as the case may be voting in meeting in person or by proxy or postal ballot, approved by tribunal by an order. Order of tribunal shall provide for the following matters. If conversion of preference shares into equity, involved shall give an option to obtain or use of dividend in cash or in equity. We have protection for creditors, variation of shareholders' right under provisions of Section 48. फिर है proceedings under BIFR shall abate. No compromise or arrangement shall be ordered by tribunal unless certificate given by company's auditor that accounting treatment proposed in scheme is as per the accounting standards. अगर accounting standards के अनुसार सब है तो दे दिया जाता है. फिर mergers and amalgamation of companies section 232 where an application is made for scheme of compromise or arrangement and shown that scheme involves merger or amalgamation may order a meeting of creditors or members and provision of point 3, 4, and 5 applicable. The scheme shall clearly indicate an appointed date from which it shall be effective, and the scheme shall be effective from such date only. Power to acquire shares of shareholders dissenting from the scheme or contract approved by the majority, section 235. This section deals with procedure of acquiring shares of shareholders dissented who did not agree to the scheme from the scheme approved under section 230 or 232. Procedure is as follows. Scheme involving transfer of shares in transferor company to transferee company has been approved by shareholders not less than 9/10 in value, and such approval will be required within 4 months of offer made by the transferee company. Transferee company shall give notice to the dissenting shareholders within 2 months from the end of the above 4 months with a desire to purchase the shares. Such dissenting shareholders may file an application to the tribunal within 1 month from the receipt of notice from the transferee company. If not made any application within 1 month, transferee company is entitled and bound to acquire the shares. If made application but tribunal made an order in favor of company, nothing to be done if application is pending. Shall send the copy of instrument of transfer to be executed on behalf of such shareholders by person appointed by company on behalf of the transferee company. Transferor company shall register the transferee company as holder of such shares and inform within 1 month from such registration about such transfer receipt of amount payable to the dissenting shareholder. Any sum received by transfer company from transferring company shall be paid into separate bank account and shall be disbursed to the entitled shareholder within the 60 days period. फिर आ जाता है परचेज ऑफ माइनॉरिटी शेयर होल्डिंग सेक्शन 236 इन केस एन acquirer person acting with acquirer any person or group of persons become holder of 90% of issued share capital of a company by way of amalgamation, share exchange, conversion of security or any other person. Such person shall notify the company of their intention to buy remaining equity shares at the price determined by register valuer as per Rule 27 of the company's rules. Majority shareholders shall deposit amount of the bank account of the company for at least 1 year for payment to minority shareholders, and such amount shall be transferred within 60 days to the entitled shareholders. Means disbursements continues to be made up to the 1 year if it could not be made within 60 days above. Company whose share are being transferred act as transfer agent for receiving and paying of amount or taking and making delivery of shares where person have dies or ceases to exist and whose heirs, successor, administrators could not be brought on record, offer can be made for a period of 3 years. Where prior to the acquisition of the shareholding, prior to the acquisition, the shareholder holding 75% or more of minority equity shareholding negotiate or reach a higher price of any transfer of shares held by them without disclosing such arrangement. Majority shareholders shall share the additional compensation so received by them with such minority shareholders on a pro rata basis. Majority shareholders shall share the additional compensation अगर मिला है तो on pro rata basis with the minority shareholding. Now, fast track mode of merger or amalgamation of certain companies. Section 233. Following compromise, companies can Optional enter into merger and amalgamation in fast track mode. Two or more small companies, a holding company and its wholly owned subsidiary company. Shares can be held on the name of nominee to ensure minimum number of subscribers, and between two or more startup companies and one or more small company with one or more startup company. Following conditions need to be followed. Notice of proposed scheme with invitation of suggestion or object shall be given to registrar where registered office of company is situated, and official liquidator where registered office of company is situated, person affected by the proposed scheme. Such suggestion or objection must be given within 30 days from receipt of notice. After considering suggestion or objection, scheme is approved by the members holding at least 90% of total number of shares in the general meeting. File a declaration of solvency with registrar of places where registered office is situated and scheme is approved by majority of creditors and creditors holding 90% of value of total credits. In meeting conveyed giving a notice of 21 days. So this was the chapter compromise and arrangements prevention और operation और जो भी miscellaneous chapter थे अपने वो सब इसमें आ गए